Hey, folks. Welcome to another edition of Mark Isaac Potter Presents. And they know I don't look at the camera because I have an ancient computer that doesn't have its own webcam. So that's why I'm always looking away. We're visiting today with Ben Davis, and Mr. Davis is associated with Chill Subs, which some of you will know is a literary group that helps people get published by listing the various poetry and fiction literary magazines around the US, Canada, and or the world. I don't remember. I used to be a member. I used to be a subscriber. Anyway, Ben, welcome aboard. How you been?
Thank you. I've been pretty good. I've been just busy. Just we're in the process of trying to get some final releases done for the year. Um, yeah, yeah. We just launched our new Smart Search, which makes it like really easy for folks to just kind of like type in anything that they want for like the magazine. And then next week we're going to be releasing a new feature called Collections, so people can just click a collection right from the browse, and then it will show them all of the magazines for that.
One of the things that has amazed me ever since you guys started, because I've been writing for 52 years, so you weren't around when I started, when Charlemagne and I were trying to write poetry. Uh, is the constant positivity, the constant innovation. A lot of other groups that tried to be what you are before you came around. I won't name some of them. Some of them are still around, though. Didn't do it the way you do it. They didn't do it as well, like way not. So thanks and congratulations. And I used your service a lot when I was publishing, and I may or may not try to get back into publishing my work. I'm not sure, but anyway, so just thanks. And usually at the top of the show, I like to have people put out whatever contact information they want the public to have. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's your website or something. What do you want people to have?
Oh, sure. I'd love for people to just, go to the website, find us on there. I don't have a lot of personal um
Yeah, I wouldn't think
like
so.
websites anymore.
Well, and you don't want poets bugging you.
Oh, sure. It's partially, but a lot of it is like kind of Chill Subs has become our baby. It's what we want to put out into the world. So whenever we talk about Chill Subs, we try to make it about Chill Subs in general. I think that is sometimes where a lot of people go wrong in the industry. I think sometimes in the past folks have started things because they want more attention on themselves. And so that gets really muddled. I see it a lot happen with sometimes it'll happen with magazines where you end up seeing a magazine or a community where they make it about the people who created it, and they make it about their own work. And but
Yeah,
that's not why
yeah,
people are there. People are there for the thing that they created. So for us, we
yeah,
kind of like we're very like uh people forward, we put ourselves forward, but what we want people to focus on is the thing that we've created, and it's all there like for them.
yeah,
That's one of the reasons we think it was successful in the first place, is we were all like, we're writers, right? So like we wanted to build what we wanted to see in the industry, rather than the other side, which is when I see a lot of, especially on the innovation side, we run into a lot of companies who have tried to start things in the literary space. And oftentimes, whenever we see someone who's doing something like that, we reach out to them because we really want to help them and collaborate and do different things. And almost every time, the people on the technology side don't understand anything about the literary world. They don't understand anything about writing, and so they come in and they, try to release something, and of course nobody wants to use it. So those are kind of two
Yeah.
problems
Yeah.
on both sides that we tend to see of like either people tend to make whatever they're creating a lot about themselves, or they don't have any sort of understanding in the community. And I think we just kind of, because of how we are naturally, there wasn't really a plan in place. That was just kind of, we wanted to create something that we wanted to use. And that was, it was amazing how much we then saw that, like, oh, there was a lot of people out there who wanted something like this. And that's
Good.
really a big
Well,
driver for.
no, that's beautiful. Yeah, my friend Peter and I started a magazine back in I started a magazine back in the, 74 maybe. And I ran it for a year, literally as one piece of paper folded in half. And then he came along a few years later and helped me build it up into a real magazine. But we were like everybody else in the space most of the time. We made a magazine because we wanted to sneak our stuff in every once in a while. That's why a lot of people do it, I think.
I think so. It doesn't matter how big a magazine is. Like, I know magazines were very, very successful, and win all of the awards. And then, well, I'll read them, and I know a lot of sometimes like the mastheads or the founders, and suddenly their name will be in the magazine that they've created
Yeah,
and published.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
get that. Like I understand.
yeah.
I understand that I think that everyone wants to be read. And a lot of people who create magazines are writers. And so, that's an opportunity for them. I think that
Yeah,
sometimes it hurts the magazine to have that be like
yeah,
the main focus. I
yeah.
like also, that there are some editors who are just incredible editors. And that's what they love doing. They love curating, they love
Mm,
helping
mm.
writers. They love helping writers to make their work as great as it can be, to create a magazine that is as beautiful a product as they can make, and that's enough. But of course, there's, like I said, we're all writers, so it's always that's a tough thing to fight against, to not want to publish yourself in a magazine that
Yeah,
is very successful, that you've created.
yeah. Do you think the public has the same level of what I'll call studiousness when it comes to literary magazines? Do we have as many people around who care and know what the hell it is, or are we losing that like the way people are leaving churches in en masse? What do you think's going on in the industry of the world?
Well, I mean, I think, yeah, you have this thing of people leaving churches en masse, but then you also have a revival happening where lots and lots and lots of young people are starting to go to church again. I think that things go in cycles and they go in trends. And I also think that analog is coming back in a really big way, and that people are becoming very exhausted by their phones and by constantly having to read on
Yeah.
the computer. And I believe that actually something like literary magazines have a much brighter future, especially in print, because I think a lot of people, like, a print is an artifact, and there are some
Yeah.
really, really gorgeous magazines, and you see a lot of people, a lot of young people who are getting vinyl. There's lots going on in like TTRPG and lit RPG spaces. People really want to collect and hold on to things because our lives have become so digital. So I don't necessarily think it's a matter of studiousness, because literary magazines is so broad, right? It's a very, very broad concept. Like, we say literary magazines, but we often phrase it as lit mags,
Yeah.
because there are
Yeah.
so many magazines that
Yeah.
don't require you to be studious to enjoy them. I think a lot of people want I think a lot of people want
Sounds like a subtle criticism to those people who haven't watched Waiting for Godot or something.
sure, but the
We
thing is,
got
is like,
magazines out there that are so stupid. No, I'm
well,
kidding.
I don't
I'm
think I
kidding.
don't think that like unstudious is stupid. I think that unstudious is just more accessible. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to you,
Tune in
you can.
next week when we watch General Hospital Literary Magazine. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
But
Uh,
I I think that there is an accessibility toward like, that people, I think the best stories are and the best writing is something that's accessible, but you can also anybody, but like the more you read it and the more you study it, the more it provides insights and gets better and better and better versus, but there needs to be that initial accessibility. So like somebody who can read it who isn't particularly studious will get a lot out of it and relate to it. And then somebody who is can look into it further and further and further and they'll, and become increasingly impressed by like the work that they're reading. And
Right.
that's the sweet spot. And I think there is a lot of work out there, especially when you read, some of the pushcart anthologies, Best American and sometimes not my favorite, but
Yeah, those are
you,
those
you
are top tier stuff. Yeah.
but you start to see like those are the types of works, and I think that I think a lot of people, a lot more people than you'd think would want to read magazines, especially when they're presented well. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I don't think that magazines are dying. I think they're just transforming.
All
Um,
right. Okay. Well, I hope you're right. Now, I want to say I'm going to be a little covetous here and say a few things that I want to say. Number one, folks, please do seriously consider subscribing to chillsubs.com. It was $50 a year when I was in it. What is it now, Ben?
it's so we have two different membership tiers. One is $100 a year, which is for everything on the website. And then one is $200, but that gets access to all of our other projects. So we have Forever Workshop and Sub Club as well.
Okay.
And so yeah,
All
so
right.
no,
Good. And then we're going to stop this part of the interview in about 3 minutes. So I want to say a couple things here. Number one, I really honestly hope that when you have time, you'll come on in a quasi regular fashion. That's number one. Once a month, whatever you can do, we'd really appreciate it. Number two, I need to publicly say that I have a lot of disabilities, including dementia. I miss a lot of these meetings. I missed an important one this week with a lady from Canada, and I just, it's so bad. I have to say to the public and to you that I probably will miss a meeting or two with you in the future, and please forgive me. I want to hire a VA, but my bank account last month was 4 cents. That was my entire worldly wealth. So I live, try with anyway, all that stuff. And then number three that I want to say is I really miss the magazines that die. I
sure.
really do. There was one called Provenance years ago out of the Philippines, and I just love those two guys. We talked by email. They published some of my stuff. Their magazine was just friggin' gorgeous. And after a few years, they were gone, and it just, especially them, it just broke my heart. It just broke my heart, you know. So I don't know. I don't know. I would start a digital cemetery if I thought it would do any good, because it
It's something we've actually thought about.
because it just really, you know what I'm saying. So anyway, folks, we're gonna take a little break here. We've been at this about 8 or 9 minutes, and so I'm gonna shut this off. It's the only way I know to get Zoom to really clearly delineate the shows. Otherwise, I'd do it some other way, but. We're gonna shut it off. I'm gonna go take a little bathroom break, and then Ben, if we can sign back in what, 3 minutes, would that be okay?
Sure, sounds good. Of
All right, boss. God bless you, man. Thanks for again for doing the show.
course.
All
Yeah,
right.
see you in a few.
Yep.